Confidence is hard to come by nowadays. With the rise of the internet, people are more insecure than they have ever been. Less face-to-face interactions, and the soul-shattering effect of social media on one's self-esteem has left most of us hiding in our hoodies, trying not to make eye contact with people in the grocery store. I am not excluded from this category. But one thing has really drastically changed me in this way in the past year or so. And that is ballroom dancing. Before we get into the topic today, I am Luke. I moved to a new place from home about a year ago and just trying to build my intentional life and figure things out as I go. And I wanted to record what I'm going through and talk about the things that I'm learning as I go along for myself and for others. Around this time, I usually give some personal updates about things that I am doing or going through. No real big things today, so we will jump right into the discussion. So, why dancing? Before I get into that, I want to give some brief background of why I got into it, how I got into it, and my experience so far. I started dancing around 9 months ago now, which feels absolutely insane. It feels like I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and it also feels like I have been doing it forever. Started as something to really just keep me busy and out of my house on weeknights, and an opportunity to get to meet new people and have a fun time. But really, after my first couple of lessons, I realized that it was a whole lot more than what I initially expected it to be. Firstly, let's clarify what type of dancing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about hip-hop or any solo type of dancing or interpretive, anything like that. This is ballroom dancing. But whenever I say ballroom, I don't exclusively mean the fancy tuxedo-wearing one that you might think of, like waltz or tango or all of these other ones. It includes a lot of social dancing as well, like salsa, cha-cha, swing dancing. All these things are under that category of ballroom dancing. Maybe a better term to be used for it is partner dancing, because it's all done with a leader and a follower. That is the thing that is the same across all these dances. And I think this adds a really beautiful, awesome element of it that I will get into in a second. So, how did I actually get into it? As I said, I really decided to do it because I wanted something that I could do that got me out of the house and got me on my feet. But I did not want to do any martial arts. I think that's a pretty common thing that especially guys will do whenever they're looking for things like this. And I wanted to avoid it. It's often extremely serious and a lot of very hard physical training that I did not want to do. So, I don't know why, but I just decided, why not look up swing dancing? Like, I've known a lot of people who've done it, and they seem to have a really good time with it, so I just looked up swing dancing classes near me. And I saw this guy pop up, Arthur Murray. And I was like, okay, cool. I looked it up. Oh, hey, it's a chain. It's probably trustworthy. Let's book an intro lesson. So I went, and I kind of went into it thinking I'll probably enjoy this a bit because I am very musical, very rhythmic by nature. I've played a lot of instruments in the past, piano, drums, a lot of things, and I just love music, and I really thought this would be a fun opportunity to be able to see a different side of music than what I'm used to. So, in my intro lesson, the instructor that I was with pretty much immediately recognized this and was very impressed by my natural ability and affinity towards it. A lot of those first few months are usually taken to learning how to dance on time and be rhythmic, and I had zero troubles with this from day one. So that really gave me a jump start and made me a lot more hopeful and excited about it, because it meant that I could jump into a lot of the more fun elements of dance than dealing with just getting through the door. So, what does it actually look like? What has the past 9 months look like for me? There are a lot of things that are included in the way that Arthur Murray does it, but I'm sure a lot of other studios do it extremely similar from what I've heard from a lot of people that I know that dance and don't go to one of their studios. One of the key things is that you have weekly private lessons with an instructor. These are usually an hour or so, and they are very honed and dedicated time to learn a specific dance or specific move that you are looking for. So I picked out 4 initial dances that I wanted to learn after getting a survey of pretty much all of them. That was the waltz, the cha cha, salsa, and rumba. Those were the 4. So one smooth and 3 Latins, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yes. So a lot of my lessons have been dedicated to that, to learning different moves and techniques on those. It is extremely the rabbit hole on each dance is massive for all the intricacies of posture and framing and spins and moves and footwork and all these things. It is an extremely deep hole, and there is so much detail to it and so much skill to be gained in it. And part of that, I think, is what makes it so much fun to me, is that you really get to dive into the little details and everything in these and see yourself grow and be able to perform more complex moves. On top of this, there are group lessons as well that are included in your private lessons that you can come to, where other students of various levels will be doing, and you just get to learn a lot more dances and interact with people in a way that you don't whenever you do your private lessons. So the group lessons are really where the social element comes in very strong. And then the biggest element of this that a lot of people who do it don't even participate in, but to me is part of one of the most fun parts of the whole thing, and I think one of the greatest opportunities to really connect with people and build that community that I talked about in a previous show. And that is the showcases that they do throughout the year. These are competitions that don't really have prizes or awards. They're framed like a competition, but it is really just a place to, as is in the name, showcase your abilities and where you're at, and actually have professional judges look at you and give you tips and say either you're doing great or man, you really need some improvement in these areas. And it's just awesome. You get to cheer on a lot of people from your studio that you've seen and meet people from various studios as well, which is where I've met a lot of my really close friends now, is from those sorts of events and putting myself out there and watching the people out there, and they are just a blast. So I really want to dig down into some of these specific benefits that partner dancing can really provide for you, because I know people do it for a number of different reasons. I think the biggest one that to me is such an important part of it is the physicality of it. It is a workout, let me tell you, to do this. You are just drilling through rounds of dances. You will be sweating your brains out by the end of it. Pretty much all of my cardio I get through dancing, because if I did any more, my weight would drop to a extremely dangerous level. But on top of the physicality of it, it really works out your brain and that connection between what you're doing with your body and what you're doing with your brain. It's that, like rubbing your stomach and patting your head type element. Because there are so many different elements of it. You have to have your feet moving a certain way and moving in a certain pattern while you keep your top half very steady and holding your partner. It's incredible. And I've seen the way that I move and am able to interact in a physical environment and my physical awareness just go through the roof through this. It's incredible. And I don't think I can really describe it very well. You just kind of have to feel it. You also, like I said, it's a great place to meet people. It is just an awesome place to connect with a lot of people who are pursuing this common hobby and this common interest with you, but come from such different backgrounds. So many different types of people I have met through this. And it has been so valuable for me and so awesome for me to connect with these people. And I think anybody can benefit from this. I have, well, there are some people, but I could count on one hand the amount of people that I have met at this that I do not immediately connect with and feel a commonality with, because there's something about the type of person that would spend their time and their money to pursue ballroom dancing that just makes it kind of get along. It takes a lot of confidence and a lot of balls, really, to get out there and put yourself out there like that. And this, I think, feeds into the last point that I will say in this category and what I'm really going to focus on for the rest of this show. It instills confidence. It is just incredible, the social and personal confidence that I have gained from this activity. In one respect, it is the physical confidence. I feel so much more confident in myself, in my body, in my personage. Part of it is that you learn how to hold yourself. You learn how to accentuate the parts of yourself that should be. So for me as a man, you learn how to sit up straight, how to push out your chest so you feel and look taller. You feel stronger and more commanding of a space. And people recognize that. It's insane the difference that I've had. People will just kind of flock to me in public situations and say, just because of how I hold myself and how I walk and move in a physical space. But even more than that, it instills such a personal and social confidence that I think there's only a handful of activities that really provide. And there are really a multitude of reasons why it does this. First off, being good at something and learning something just by default makes you more confident. Being able to get on the floor with somebody who's never danced before and kind of guide them through that and show them that you know what they're doing is incredible. And it makes you feel like you are in command of the situation, you are in command of yourself and who you are and what you're doing. And you can really show this person a fun time because of that. But another big reason for me is that you really need to have social confidence for partner dancing, because you are right up with people. And if you aren't confident, it is going to be the most painful, awkward experience of your life. And so you just learn how to do this. You just pick up on questions that you can ask, ways that you can hold yourself and speak with people that make it more comfortable, make it more fun. And that really is my biggest point here, is that having confidence makes dancing more fun. And so you'll naturally be drawn to, if you are committed to staying in it, to being more confident and portraying yourself, holding yourself more like this in your conversations, because it makes it more enjoyable overall. And so that is really my case for dancing and why you should start it, and the confidence that it provides, and just the changes. So before I get into some personal anecdotes and stories of the change, kind of before and after of this, I want to dive into something that I kind of hinted to earlier, which is the beautiful art form of partner dancing. Now I'm going fully off script for this. I kind of dox myself. I do have a rough outline that I follow for these things. It's not a pure ramble, but I want to talk about this. There's an old phrase of I came for the this and I stayed for the this. I came for X, but I stayed for Y. And I think that no greater example of this is partner dancing for me. I came for a physical activity where I get to meet people, where I get to talk with people, and something where I can have fun with music. But what became very, very obvious to me is that it is a incredibly deep and meaningful activity. It is such a beautiful analogy, I think, for the relationship of a man and a woman, that there is a leader and there is a follower. And they have these beautiful roles that they play, but they both are equals in this. They're both giving and taking different things in this. They are equal but different. The leader's job is to stand up strong, to be a firm rock, a stabling force for the follower. My job as a leader is not to look pretty, it's not to do all sorts of fancy moves and spins and everything. Largely, I am restrained. That is my job, is to keep my physical movements intentionally restrained. Now, every now and then, I do get to pull out a little fun move or something like that, but largely my job is to make my follower feel safe and secure and to allow her to do whatever makes her feel beautiful and empowered and amazing. And so my job on that floor is a I deflect. My job is to make my follower feel as beautiful and as free and as safe as possible to do whatever moves, whatever, and to know that I will be there for her and I will catch her and I will hold her up whenever she goes for the crazy dip or hold her up whenever go for the crazy rise, which I don't know how to do those things yet. Do not ask me to. But that is my role. And I think it's such a beautiful reflection of how a man is in a relationship that I am a leader, but it doesn't mean that I am a dictator or I am an oppressor or something like that. No, I'm strong. I direct where the woman goes? Of course, yes. That's why I am the leader and she's the follower. I call, she responds in this way. But we are doing it together, and it is this joint union. I'm not just controlling everything because she gets to go off and do her own things in this. And my job is to lead us to places that makes her look as awesome as possible. It is just beautiful. And so I think just in describing the leader's part, I feel that I've really been able to describe the follower's part in like as well. It is your job is to trust that your leader knows what he's doing and that he is going to keep you safe and that he is going to direct you where you need to go and that you have the freedom to have fun, to look beautiful, to do all these fancy, crazy things and go over the top and everything like that. And that is your job, is to hear what he calls, to do and like, and trust that he will not let you down. And if he does, being able to support him in that and help him through that difficulty and make sure that you rise to the occasion and you keep on going. It is this amazingly beautiful give and take. And I earnestly look forward to the day whenever I can do this with someone that I truly love and that I truly have this deep relationship with. Because currently, I just get to kind of see those glimmers with the people that I dance with. You can have this awesome special interaction with your partner, even if you aren't romantic partners. But I think that that is truly where it can shine. And so I really, really recommend to people who do have that deep romantic relationship together, do this. It is such a beautiful analogy for what a good and healthy relationship I think really looks like. And that's why a lot of people will do these things to improve their relationship and help them through these times. With all that said and done, you may or may not, depending on how well I've sold this, be asking yourself, well, I want to do this. How do I start? What do I do? First off, I would highly recommend that you find a local Arthur Murray. Like I said, they are a nationwide franchise, and they are very, very well known and respected for their consistency of culture between studios. I've visited a multitude, and they all have this same very positive, very empowering vibe to them. But if you don't believe in that or you don't want to do that, that is perfectly all right. Any local studio will do. I can't promise that they will have the same focus on the fun and the social element of it. They may be more technically focused, but you can still get a great amount of benefit and improvement from these more third-party studios. As I said before, if you have somebody to do it with, it elevates it so much. If you have a romantic partner to do this with, it is just such a special experience to do together. Even if it's not a romantic thing, though, if you have a friend or you have a sibling or something that you want to do this with, it is an awesome growing experience for any relationship, romantic or otherwise. It is such a great opportunity to work together and think together and pursue something beautiful together. Lastly, prepare to feel uncomfortable. It is an incredibly challenging experience, and it pushes you socially and physically in ways that I have never experienced before. You will have moments whenever it is a little bit awkward if you're dancing with somebody that you don't know or that you don't really trust that much. It can be a little awkward sometimes, but I think that's the beauty of it, is getting in these awkward situations and pushing yourself like that can really, really grow you and improve you personally. And that's where that confidence can really be instilled, is by doing those things that make you feel uncomfortable and proving to yourself that you can still push through and you can still make something beautiful through it. Finally, before closing, this has pretty much been a unapologetic evangelistic message for anybody to try dancing. And I do not apologize for that one little bit. I think everybody can do it. Everybody would benefit from it. And there is a reason that dancing has been a consistent part of society and culture for millennia. I think it's such a shame that nowadays it's become such this taboo thing that is uncomfortable to do, or it's girly to do, because as I've said, it's a very masculine, very powerful thing to do if you're a leader, and a very empowering and beautiful and freeing experience if you're a follower. And so I will not apologize for recommending anybody to do this. If you don't, that's fine. But I will never say that this is not something for everybody, because I truly believe that it is something for everybody, that you can find your style of dancing and your way that you get out of it and the thing that you can improve with it. But I understand if you don't feel comfortable or you don't do it. That is your right. That is your choice. But just know that I would like you to, and that I earnestly believe that you would get tremendous benefit from it. Thank you for listening to me rant away on this. This is one of my favorite subjects ever, and I'm extremely passionate about it, as you can probably tell, and the fact that I've been doing it for 9 months and have zero plan to ever stop. So I appreciate you spending the time to hear me out, and I do really, really hope that you actually take some action from this and you would try this out. I imagine this is a topic I will be hitting on a multitude of times in the future, as I go to more events, go to more showcases, and as I just continue to improve. I will keep you guys updated on various things that I do. Hopefully I will be able to have some sort of video element as well, if you're somebody who watches this rather than just listen to it, be able to show you guys some of the events and the things that I am doing. So once again, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to me talk and hear me out on this respect. So go dance, get out on the floor and boogie yo dang ass off. I will catch you guys next time.